Hello and welcome to FPL Chats. My name is Josh, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my Game Week 9 team selection and any possible transfers that I'm hoping to move on. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, give it a like. If not, then that's okay too. Let's move on to the team selection. So, as you can see, I've gone for a 3-4-3 this week, kind of aligning with the template, the most recent template, I suppose, where we're going big up the top, in sacrifice for some of the smaller, the defense is just not producing the points at the moment. So if I start with Raya in goal against Bournemouth, it looks like a good fixture. Bournemouth are recording the worst kind of expected goals this season for just scoring or assisted goals. Hoping that Raya can pick up something. But thinking about in comparison to Ward, who's on my bench at Nottingham Forest, I'd slightly favour Raya, purely because I think Brentford's defence is quite a bit better than Leicester's at the moment. Moving on to the defence, so we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, somebody who's almost a bit of a differential in a lot of teams at the moment, purely because people are fed up with Liverpool. Against Brighton at home, it just looks like a good fixture, really. And then if Liverpool can get back to the kind of form that they were on, anywhere near it from last season, then Trent will hopefully produce. Moving along is on to Trippier, and I think that Fulham away is a difficult fixture for any team at the moment. Trippier is somebody I brought in for the Bournemouth game. Unfortunately, he didn't get a clean sheet there. But against Fulham away, he might get an attacking return. I'm not expecting too much from him. Anything would be a kind of bonus, really. But Fulham are still a promoted side, and on paper you would expect Newcastle to get something from the game. With Mitrovic at home, I think that he will pose a big threat to the Newcastle defence. So Cancelo, moving on to him, he's against Man United at home, which you'd expect City to win. United's attacking statistics haven't been too good this season. They did well against Arsenal on the counter, which is something I imagine they'll employ against Man City. Man City's defence is the best in the league by some distance, statistically. And Cancelo, he can produce something special at any moment. He's one of my 3 City spots at the moment. Here's my cat Queenie saying hello. Hello, come on. You're in the way. Thank you. Moving on to the midfield, starting with Martinelli at the moment. Unsure about that fixture between Arsenal and Spurs. Really tough to call. Slightly edging Arsenal just because of their form at the moment. It's really tough to call whether Martinelli is going to get anything in that game. Got a bit of value tied up in him at the moment, so I don't want to get rid of him anytime soon for that reason. Gundogan then, he's somebody who I just don't know whether he's going to start week on week at the moment. Germany had a poor result. I think it was last night against Hungary. They lost 1-0, and he did play in that game. If internationals are anything to go by, then not looking very confident. Sinistera, so this is a player I really like. I brought him in just before he started his first game, which was against Everton at home, and yeah, he scored. The 2 games he started, which was that Everton game and the Brentford game, he scored in both of them. So yeah, I was really pleased with that transfer in. I've just come to know that Colombia play 2 days before Leeds' game against Villa, and he is a Colombian international. He'll be playing in that game, so that gives him 48 hours to get back from South America, I think they're playing, or in Mexico, and then prepare with Leeds' team to then play in the Aston Villa game. So yeah, it's a tough one to take, really. These darn it internationals, just screwing up my FPL plans. But yeah, I think that if I were to know he was going to start, then I would be playing him, 100%, which I am still. Just there's a bit of doubt around him, so a bit of doubt onto whether Gundogan and Sinistera start. And then onto Gordon. So I brought him in last week just before the West Ham game. Thought it'd be a good game for him, but he didn't really do much. Southampton away could be a good game on paper, but Everton's attack lately hasn't been looking too good. I thought I dodged a bullet by not getting Bowen in last week, but I think I got hit by a similar bullet with Gordon. And currently he's going through contract negotiations, which I thought would be a positive thing for him, because Everton are willing to increase his pay significantly to keep him. But apparently conversations have stalled a little bit, and the kind of talk of him wanting to go to a bigger club in the summer looks to be true. So yeah, not ideal if you're an Everton player, an Everton fan. Not ideal if you are somebody who owns Gordon in your team. So yeah, wait and see with him. Onto the forward line. I'm more happy with the forward line in general. Isak scored last game. I'm hoping that yellow flag is one of those international injuries that's like kind of a precaution and not worth the risk to play him. I'll read up a bit more about that closer to the deadline, just in case. Fulham away for him, so I think as much as I expect Fulham to score, I also expect Newcastle to score. So hopefully he'll be involved in something there. Haaland is my captain. He's my captain at the moment. I think he'll probably remain my captain. When he was interviewed at the start of him joining Man City, he said that the team that he was looking forward to face the most is Manchester United. So I'm expecting something from Haaland there, like you expect something from Haaland in most games. And then Tony, Bournemouth away. It's a good fixture. It's just a good fixture. I won't be selling him before that game. Onto my bench, and this is where the headache comes in, really, because I'm so unsure about what's going to happen in that Tottenham Arsenal game. I've got Gabriel on the bench and Kulusevski on the bench. I can see Arsenal keeping Spurs out, I believe. I can see them keeping them out if Arsenal score first, basically. That's the way I'm looking at it. However, if Spurs get an early one, then I think Arsenal could panic a little bit. So it's a tough one. It's just a tough call. Kulusevski, I'm not sure whether he's going to start. It's really a toss-up between him, Richarlison and Son, the two places really that start. So yeah, tough. And then Nico Williams on the end of my bench there. I expect Leicester to score a couple at least. So I'm okay with this starting 11 currently. The question marks I have are around whether Gundogan starts. I have a question mark around whether Sinistera starts. I think I'll probably still keep those two in my starting 11. even if unless there's some real clarity around whether they start or not, I'll probably still keep them in, because even off the bench, I think those two are capable of getting goals. Martinelli, I think Spurs will be very, very stubborn against Arsenal, unless, of course, Arsenal get it. If there is an early goal in that game, it'll be brilliant for the whole game. But yeah, if there's not, then I see the defences keeping each other at bay mostly. So Martinelli, he's just kind of in there at the moment. But so that's the team. I've got one free transfer, as you can see on the right hand side, and I am thinking of using it. So there's a couple of players I want in, which are Reece James. I think Chelsea got a good run of defensive fixtures. Zaha and possibly Maddison. So my obvious replacement in this team at the moment, I really am not sure whether Kulusevski's going to start many games in the coming 4 or 5 fixtures. So I think he'll be the one to transfer out. If there was a player that I wanted to transfer out, and possibly Gabriel as well. Arsenal have that blank in game week 12. I think that they've got a couple of tough fixtures before then as well, so difficult for them to get a clean sheet in those games. So I think Gabriel would be the player to go for Reece James, and Kulusevski would be the player to go for probably Zaha. Now, Chelsea and Crystal Palace play against each other in this game week coming up. So it's about do I want to, and Reece James and Zaha will be coming up against each other directly as well, which will be interesting. So is it a case of I go for one of them and don't spend -4 points for the second transfer, or do I go for both of them and just see who comes out on top, and then I'll have both of them going into the following game weeks. If I were to transfer just one of them, I think I would start with. Oh, it's a tough call. I still haven't made my mind up. But I think it would probably be James or Zaha. And then it would be Gabriel or Kulusevski really to go. I'd probably then bench Martinelli just even though Gordon's there and he's not been playing too well, he is still a bit of a talisman for that Everton side. And Southampton are a much weaker defence than Tottenham at the moment. So for that reason, I think if there's a game that Everton think they can get something out of, it would probably be this one. For Arsenal, it's more pressure. I'd say it's more pressure playing at home against Spurs, who they lost to last year, although they did beat them at home last year. So that's who I would bench, basically. It's probably Martinelli. Guys, thank you for listening to this video. It is one of the first few videos I've done and this one was on team selection, obviously. If you have any comments, if you enjoyed the video, then I would be super pleased for you to give it a like. And of course, subscribe as well if that's what you'd like to do. Thank you for listening, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.